zone, the home goal zone of Santos Laguna, but instead Zeta Division, they're preparing for more of a fight.
Yeah, and they're going to actually take that fight right now. The best way to prepare for a fight, I find, is taking it. Also, having Vidopo at level 15 is where that Leafeon is right about to achieve. Mufasa does get a Sacred Sword, but now they're at the Wide Guard in the midst of 4 enemy Pokemon. Wide Guard is off cooldown, so they do get
5 where this particular thing happened, and I want to be able to go back and click on a video and be like,
cascades onto all of them. Anisos, the only member left up for Santos Laguna, and they go down. The side strike found the target.
No members up, but there's 8 seconds left. The coup de grace is available. If we can sneak in with Mufasa, that might be one of the only ways that you live. Or, I mean, honestly, you just don't even burn it. Maybe on the side of Zeta Division. No, they're going for it. They're going 100%. Aegis is down. They're going to have to find a miracle secure. Snorlax jumping in. What's the final hit going to be? It's Tomato! Everybody with the tomato shirts out there, living their best life as Zeta Division, with already a 200-point lead, will take a lot of shields moving forward to score.
Kira leaps in with the Snorlax to buy some space. Heavy Slam block opens it up. Clefable uses their Unite move and attempts to Hydro Pump the Rayquaza. A tough turn of events. A few options would have been a little better, but Zeta Division really covered for all of their outs. Yet another match defined by a team fight preemptively around the Rayquaza, and Zeta Division 3 for 3 when it comes down to an aggressive battle near the end of the match.
This set has been nearly full repeats for every single game. The comps were similar. The kind of back and forth was similar. The leads that Zeta got were similar. The way they dealt with Rayquaza was similar. Everything just felt like it was in their control. They're ahead by over 500 points, so even Hundo Burgers in everybody's pockets are not quite going to be enough. A KO onto, at least, Tommy, that's going to be one big KO. 40 seconds left. This is going to have to be nearly a miracle if we want to see Santos Laguna make this back.
Yeah, Vidopo on the run right now, but this speedster will be able to easily retreat to the rest of their team as Wachiro says, where have you been? I have eggs for you, please. Heal on up. Santos Laguna with one final push. Latin America North's final chance at getting to Championship Sunday. Zeta Division holding strong so far. Tomato from the outside. Vidopo always there for the backup. A resurrect from Tomato brings back Wajiro. And Zeta Division holding strong. Hitman down. Gortom sweep. And Zeta Division are going to Championship Sunday.
Japan for 2 years in a row. They've made it back, the final hope of the region. And they have made it all the way. Look at that immediately. The team, you can see how happy they are, and well deserved. Our first semifinal match of the day and a clean sweep, fully in control.
3-0 fashion over one of the hottest teams in the World Championships this year. Santos Laguna, first our flowers to that team. An amazing run, the best run this region has ever seen. And what a showing from this team, not only regional near the end of the year, but now internationally here at the World Championships.
You can see some mixed emotions definitely from Santos Laguna. They should be proud of themselves. I mean, 4th place in the world is an absolutely amazing placement. Obviously, you always want to do better, but you can see some smiles, you can see some disappointed faces, but certainly we know with those players, they'll be back, as we've seen them years and years again. Zeta, though, this might be their year.
Zeta Division, the last representative of Japan in this tournament. They entered Day 2 and top 16 with 4 teams from their region. That changed very quickly, but Zeta Division holding strong and able to defeat this Latin America North squad. Moving on to the finals of the World Championships in 2025.
The first team ever to qualify for an arena finals at Worlds here. That is very, very cool to see. But of course, we get to see a little bit back at this match where Zeta Division just played so solid an entire 3-game set. I love the confidence from Santos Laguna. They stuck with their comfortable strategy every single game. There were lots of moments that did feel like they could fight back, but I mean, honestly, especially in these last 2 games, Tommy on
Yes.
that Garchomp. I don't even know what more I can say.
I easy think Tommy is the MVP award for me during this entire set. I don't think it's such a phenomenal showing, and I actually think it might be one of the first matches of our tournament where we can truly see this player is elite and belongs on this roster. 142,000 damage for this Garchomp with 8 knockouts. I mean, not only does this Pokemon have damage, not only does it have KO potential, crowd control potential as well. Now, like you said, Zeta Division moving on and are going to be waiting at their next opponent, which is very interesting. Obviously, longtime rivals in Luminosity Gaming are one of the available options, but the other is a team that they have matched up against in a finals of an in-person tournament. Peru versus Zeta Division was a very incredible finals at EUIC years and years ago already. So one of Zeta Division's first ever showings. So I think Zeta Division are going to be very happy about whatever opponent they have on Championship Sunday.
You know, as much of a history nerd as I'd like to be, I forgot that happened.
Push his glasses
yeah,
up
okay,
further.
okay, all right.
Good
job.
Adjusts bow tie, enters peak nerd.
Because they went by their original name back then.
Suara ini suara. Halo?
In my brain, right? I mean, obviously a lot of the matches did, but it was just so far back then. That is true. That could be an excellent rematch. I mean, regardless, it's an excellent rematch, right? No matter what. And regardless, it's 3 amazing regions that are all now still in the running for the World Championship. But Zeta, a team that, by the way, lost their first match
Suara emang nggak kedengeran ya? Bentar.
on broadcast.
Remember that?
They lost their very first match on broadcast and now have come all the way back and earned their spot in the top 2 of the entire world.
And flawless in a semifinal. Like, that is so tough to do. Yeah, maybe sure your preparation worked out. I guess we'll get a little bit of intel as we do have an interview on stage with Zeta Division.
There's no sound on that. Well,
Mic-nya rusak, guys. Mic laptop bokap.
this is your 2025 World's Pokemon Unite
Coba gue pakai headset.
Division. It's such a pleasure to have you again here with me, Bitopo. Your performance has been absolutely incredible. I want to throw in a different question just because, you know, on the fly. Are you proud of your performance today?
今日のパフォーマンスについてどうですか？誇りに思っています？
もちろん、自分のプレーには結構今回は満足できたんですけど、ちょっと味方のトミーさんのプレーがあまりにもでかすぎて、もう本当にこちらとしてはなんか感激ですね。
Check.
So my friend Johnny,
We're very close.
okay.
Very close.
Yeah, so I was yeah.
Mandi dong.
Would you like me to
Fair.
connect to you?
Okay. Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. We can.
Hello? Okay. Go ahead. This one, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm very proud, and but my friend Johnny was very, very big the whole time, and I thought it was amazing.
Well, I'm so glad that you... Whoa, that's loud. I'm very glad that you feel proud of yourself because, honestly, Japan must be very proud of you as well. So I need to ask you, how are you feeling? I know that you're proud, but what is the feeling after finishing this best of 5 in such a dominant 3-0 fashion?
ちょっと一方的な対戦だったんですけれども、このように勝ってどう思います？
3-0っていう、結果的に見たら結構一方的なのかもしれないですけど、結構ラストヒット、レックウザーを取ったのが、自分たちだったっていうだけの試合もあったので、一方的に見えても、実は接戦だったので敵もとても強かったですね。
Yeah, so it may have been a landslide victory, but my team was able to come in and we were able to take out Raykuza, and so I think they did a really great job.
Okay, so we had a great performance from you, but you still have grand finals tomorrow. What are the expectations for the pinnacle of Pokemon Worlds 2025?
じゃあ 次が最終戦ですけれども、どのような試合になると予想されてますでしょうか。
それはもう WCS2025 で一番熱い戦いをしてこようと思うので、皆さんよろしくお願いします。
He's looking for the most heated battle of an opponent that an opponent will give him, so he's really looking forward to it. Yeah, so he's looking for the most heated, looking forward to the most heated battle from his opponent, so he's looking really forward to it. Yeah.
Okay, so really looking forward to it, and especially because, of course, they're going to be facing a mighty opponent. We're still going to have their semifinals to round out the day 2 of 2025 Pokemon Unite World Championships. But do you have a couple of words for these lovely fans of yours here?
ファンの皆様にはおメッセージを伝えたことでありますでしょうか。ファンの皆様に何か伝えたいことってありますか。
いや、世界一になる姿を見届けてください。
Watch me become number one in the world. He says he wants to say to his fans that watch me become number one in the world.
Watch me become the number 1 in the world. Vitopa from Zeta Division, everybody. Congratulations once again. Thank you so much, you both, for the interview. Back to our casters.
All right, becoming number 1 in the world, looking for the most heated opponent for a finals matchup. And I think we got 2 great candidates for just that coming up in our next best of 5.
Oh, I cannot wait. I mean, these 2 teams were amazing. This next set is going to be legendary. Of course, when we get back, we're going to see Luminosity versus Peru. We're going to see which of these teams will make it to our grand finals. We're going to take one short break, but we'll decide our final grand finalist right after this.
Pokemon trainers, Gabby Snyder here with Ryan from Honolulu at his 2nd World Championships. How has it been so far?
Oh, it's been really fun. I mean, we only got here earlier today, but everyone's been super friendly. The staff's been super, helpful, and just really like the vibe.
What has been the favorite thing you've seen so far?
Definitely just this area over here. I always love seeing the TCG art. It's always super cool to see how hard everyone's worked, and then me and all my friends are always looking at the museums and stuff. It's always awesome.
Yeah, we have the Past Worlds Museum behind us. In this shot, which is very appropriate, as you mentioned you're
really embracing everything and not being shy. They feel more like they're at home. It's the best feeling. Yeah.
It's contagious, isn't it?
No, for sure. I'm every time.
So what got you interested in Pokemon?
Oh my God, jeez. It's funny because it came out when I was born, but yet I guess they always played it to when I was growing. It just kind of grew onto me. And then just one day I was like, Pikachu. And my dad's like, I know what she wants. And that just kind of took off from there, yeah.
All right, well, Senna, I have a trivia question for you about the Pokemon video games. If you get this trivia question right, I have a pack of Pokemon cards for you. All right, so my question for you is, can you name 3 Pokemon that have appeared on the box art of the mainline games?
Pikachu, Blastoise, Charizard, Lugia, Ho-Oh. You said 3? Oh, okay, sorry.
That's way more than 3, but we accept that. Congratulations. Here's your pack. So, do you collect cards?
I do, yes. We actually just bought the Leafeon EX and Glaceon EX from Prismatic. Expensive, but beautiful. So I'm obsessed, yeah.
All right, well, here's one more pack to add to your polls. Best of luck. Thank you so much for your time.
Yo.
Let's go do some more trivia. I am here with Adonis, also from LA. Welcome, welcome. This is your first time at Worlds. How's it going?
Going pretty good. I'm
Check
excited.
satu,
I'm
check
on the little
dua.
pins line. I don't know if other people are doing that as well. Yeah.
How many pins have you gotten so far?
Ooh, I'll tell you my real answer. I need 2 more. 2 more.
What's your fake answer?
Fake answer is I have 0 because I want people to give me all of them. Yeah.
All right, so if you see Adonis later, make sure to hit him up with some pins. And then also hit me up with some pins because I haven't done that yet. All right.
I'll tell you exactly where to go. We'll go on a whole little ride to show you exactly where they are.
Adonis, I like you. You're a cool guy. All right, so Adonis, you are a fan of Pokemon. What is your favorite Pokemon game?
Ooh, favorite Pokemon game, Ruby. I played it over 40 times, and I got the same starter every time, Torchic.
So you've played it over 40 times. I think you probably know it fairly well, right?
Yes, I should, hopefully. Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you a trivia question about Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, or Emerald. And if you get it right, I have a pack of Pokemon cards for you. And if you get it wrong, you may get the pack anyways, because I see Pikachu and Eevee off in the distance, and they just make me feel happy. Are you ready?
Yeah, born ready.
All right. Where can you catch Rayquaza in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald?
No, don't tell me it's a name.
You can describe it.
It's a cave that you have to go into, and that's all I got.
It's a very tall cave.
Oh, is it Mount Coronet or something like that?
It's a building that's very tall. It might be a tower in the sky.
Sky Tower?
Sky Tower, you got it right! Yeah! Here's your pack.
I may have reset it 40 times, but I think I got Rayquaza once. I just beat the Elite Four.
Rayquaza's overrated. You heard it here first.
It's all about Torchic.
All right, so I'll be looking forward to seeing your Torchic only run later on, eventually. Adonis, thank you so much for joining me here.
Thank you so much, and if you need the pins, just look for me around. Yeah.
Will do. And we'll be back with more Pokemon action from the World Championships real soon.
Welcome back to the Pokemon Unite Championship Series. Here we are, Anaheim, California, for the 2025 World Championships, and we are almost there. We are this close to our grand finals. Hello, everybody. Jake, your resident content cowboy here, aka Spreggles, Yee to the Ha, joined by the one and only Dupe Snacks, and we have a matchup that we've seen multiple times this season. One of these two squads heading to Grands.
Yeah, Luminosity versus
Show up,
Peru.
lads.
Luminosity has to feel comfortable in this because they've gotten the better end of this matchup time and time again. And I'm not going to lie to you when I've said I've heard a story that Peru was asking other teams to beat LG so they didn't have to deal with them later in the tournament. That didn't come true for them, and now they have to take care of the trash themselves.
Well, we just saw one of the most legendary matches between Nouns and LG moments ago on stream. So I can't wait to see what happens when they go up against Peru right here. I mean, those games were incredible. Now we're heading into a best of 5. Peru has a lot to prove. They have been one of the best teams in the world for years now, but they have not gotten that world champion title, and Luminosity is trying to take it once more. We're going to throw it up to the big stage right now. We're going to talk to our teams. Take it away, Soph.
Thank you so much, Spreggles, and everybody. Welcome to the last semifinals of the 2025 Pokemon Unite World Championships. For our matchup, we have Latam South, North America, Peru Unite! And for North America, Luminosity Gaming! So, can you please say a couple of words to your opponent?
¿Qué quieres decirle a tu oponente?
Buena suerte. Buena suerte.
Good luck.
Good luck. I mean, Overlord, come on. What are you going to say after this heartfelt moment? I'm scared. Are you going to disappoint me?
Well, I'd say if history proves to be true, then I think we should be pretty good for this matchup. If history proves to be true, I think we'll be pretty good with this matchup.
Okay, they're going to be pretty good for the matchup. So, getting ready for this last semifinals. A stare down with the pose. The boxing pose, let's go. Thank you so much. Back to our casters.
Nope, talk. Is that us?
All right, there we have it. We have LG and Peru once again facing off. And I mean, Overlord said it right there. Of course, we had the good luck coming from Peru, but let's be clear. They have beaten Peru many a times. Peru is playing great today. I thought they had kind of a rocky day one, but they're looking pretty fantastic as they move.
They're in the top four of the World Championships. I mean, they're having a good event. That can't be understated.
Yes.
They've made the finals before. They've won a finals before. This is not new territory for them. What is new to them is trying to beat LG in these moments, which they've been unsuccessful. Overlord said it. Good luck was sent to Luminosity, but like you said, it actually should have been kicked back the other way. Like everybody, give me your energy type stuff out here. They need all the help they can get because, like they said, history is not on our side, and history tends to repeat itself. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it absolutely does. I feel like LG is probably very happy with this matchup heading into semis. They may have had a harder time against Nouns, but Peru is the stronger team over the course of many seasons. Peru has got deeper into the World Championships and running into their kryptonite a little bit. We saw them face off at NAIC. We've seen them face. Did we see them at EUIC as well? I feel like we've seen them a couple times this season run into Peru. And one thing is for sure, Luminosity knows how to play into this squad.
Absolutely. I mean, Peru plays incredibly strong into the things they know. I haven't seen like a lot of, we'll say, I don't know, Game 3 score comp tournament life on the line type changes out of Peru. They play more of a straight up style. And Luminosity, specifically this year, over past years, has really had the advantage against teams that play traditional Pokemon Unite. Because they're doing so much stuff off the reservation that they really understand the basic core of the game and trying to beat you in all the perimeter, if you will.
Yeah, you also have to recognize that at some point, I mean, Luminosity has an incredible plot armor on their squad.
It's wild.
By the name of Otter, by the way. I mean, what an insane steal that we saw in the Nouns game. We've seen multiple moments from Otter that made plays like Otter has saved LG multiple times this season in some crazy ways. Of course, there are many members of Luminosity who have also had moments like that. The Komai game where Overlord is able to take Rayquaza somehow with the sneaky Blaziken maneuver through the tall grass. There have been many moments where LG went to the brink and came back, and they're going to need to do it again here against Peru. Peru is looking to prove something as we head into this game. Luminosity, Peru, here is your draft for our semifinals. This is a best of 5.
Peru needs to take Luminosity to the brink if they're going to want to win. Because Luminosity right there, like we said, I think they believe that they're pretty comfortable. Charizard, Latios banned, Suicune, Snorlax on the side of LG, and they get the first pick to kick off our semifinals.
Yeah, I'm curious what they want to pick here. Banning the, Suicune means they're not able to grab it themselves, but the whole plan there was to get Slash on the Ho-Oh. Makes a lot of sense. We've seen how powerful this Pokemon is and how good he is on it. Over to the side of Peru, the next 2 picks now up.
Kea and Draken, who have honestly had an amazing tournament, who have been the lifeline for Peru without a doubt. The 2 players that you hear me talk about ad nauseum when I'm talking about Peru, now they're pivoting and letting Anemo get their Leafeon early because honestly, it's a good thing. They're great with it, and it also takes it out of the hands of Trainer and a quick Mamoswine pick.
Yeah, interesting pick right here. I mean, an early defender, obviously, you can still hide some of your picks later here, as we have the Mewtwo Y being picked up by Curious. And Trainer grabbing the Scyther or Scizor. One thing for sure, they stole that from Peru. This is a Pokemon that they are very at home with. So this is one of those times, Duke Snacks, where I think both of us actually probably like this pick
Peru,
because not
sedangkan
only
Livion,
is it
Mamo,
a decent Pokemon, especially in the hands of a very
Cleffa,
skilled
Arma
player
ya.
like
Arma
Trainer or
betul-betul
Overlord
mereka
who might be running it, it also is something that they have stolen from their opponents, which is one of the most powerful things you can do in draft.
Yeah, to me, there's actually more value of it not being on the side of Peru than Luminosity actually having it on their team. I think Trainer would rather play any other type character, if I'm being completely honest. But in this situation, they're not hemorrhaging too much value by grabbing it in the place of something else. And now rounding out something that you and I have talked about a little bit today, and yesterday, is this Lucario.
For me, Lucario has become the I don't have anything else to pick all-rounder Pokemon, and I don't think it's performed particularly well in that spot. Yes, these players are practicing with it. They've been playing it since the game released, so they are very seasoned on this. They can make some big plays. It just doesn't feel particularly amazing in this meta. Now, of course, we have cursed the broadcast by bringing this up at all. It's about to have the best game of the entire tournament.
Jadi ini ada Mew dan Mewtwo dari LG di pair.
I would love to see it because I don't see much out of this Pokemon. Now, on the other side, I'm really interested to see Trainer on
Sedangkan di kiri dua all-rounder.
They're going the Scyther variety.
Yeah, my gut tells me Scyther, but the thing that I've keyed in on is Overlord grabbing Buzzwole. Again, incredible weekend, does a great job snatching things up by the ankles like a Leafeon, right? Repositioning, putting it and dragging it away from something like Clefable and putting it into the pocket of the rest of your team to knock it out. Now, what does this do for Peru? It puts so much stress on Draken and Kea to do their job. Fortunately for Peru, they are two of the best players at it.
Here we go. The first game of our best-of-5 semifinals. Luminosity, your purple team. Peru Unite, your orange team. Let's get this thing underway.
We're taking a look, and we've got two Pokemon that do very well early for Luminosity here. Gonna put some work in against Peru, who has two Pokemon that kind of struggle in the early stages of the game.
Yeah, I mean, Mamoswine has its moments, but Armarouge specifically is definitely not your favorite pick early until it ends up evolving here. You can see Slash just continuing to try to get towards that goal zone so that they are able to score and they are able to stack. Up the top path here, and Nemo puts some pressure on. Obviously, that's what you can do with Leafeon, one of the best level 4s in the entire game. But here comes Trainer, and it is the dual wing beat. That's a Scyther.
Yep. Trainer coming up, running cover, and of course forcing Peru Unite to kick back. Anemo there as the Leafeon with the first one from the central to go up top. And Trainer LGC just hiding out, see if they can get a pick here as we have the 850 birds about to pop. Oh, good little shield by Otter to reposition Kea. And they're actually able to get a piece of experience there and evolve.
Yeah, it looked pretty good even for Peru right there, as both teams are just going to move away from this experience in the top and bottom path. Slash looking for another score to continue stacking, not able to make it happen, but Ho-Oh so unbelievably difficult to take down in a moment like this. Trainer trying to see if they can make a KO happen, but no, they're too far away.
And of course, Overlord putting more pressure on. There's the reposition on Kea. There's the knockout with the E-ball from Otter. A real comfort pick for them here on this Mew. They get knocked out by Anemo, who's rotating back up. See the Razor Leaf shooting back to the Leafeon here. And Overlord just keeping an eye as Curious with the big time over rotate.
Yeah, they gave up a support for a support in a moment like that, and that's fine, I think, for both squads here, as LG has the pick of the litter when it comes to all this experience, sending it on over to Trainer, almost level 7. Slash down here in the bottom path, doing okay just by themselves.
Yeah, I mean, keeping parity with the levels here. Nice inject by Trainer to try and get a knockout. Tempo's gone, nice. Kea's gone, and this goal zone's going to get scored on as Luminosity is just picking up steam.
Yeah, Luminosity is starting to have that snowball roll downhill here as they are picking up big wins. And when you have a Leafeon on the side of one of these squads here, you're expecting that it is going to be out-leveling your opponents, at least putting insane pressure on.
So far,
it's down 2 levels to the enemy central area here, which is never where you want Leafeon to be.
Nope, Slash putting pressure, gets almost Ice Fang down, but able to get out here as it's 4v2. Luminosity needs to hold it down with the player advantage. Here comes Trainer to try and balance the score sheet a little bit in terms of personnel. And now it's a 5-player rotation. Peru fully committing, and Overlord looking for a backdoors. Now they know all 5 players are there. We go to big time engage and a quick knockout on Ho-Oh.
Dapat pokoknya, tapi kita lihat dapat si Peru Unite dengan Lucario, dan sekarang malah LG yang terberat ya.
They're finally able to get some knockouts, and now they just want to get some points in. But the Luminosity is brought right to the doorstep here as Peru finally is able to break parity and get some points.
Masih bisa ditahan. Peru is like really doing well in this fight. They did not have the Unite move advantage at first. We had Trainer move in with that Scyther, but they weren't able to get much done. Wonderful stuff from Peru right back in this game. In fact, taking the level lead.
Yeah, absolutely. Tempo going straight in. I believe that's a close combat Lucario we've got there from them. Gonna sit by this Clefable, get topped off on HP, and Peru, although down on the scoreboard, finds themselves back into the action here with a good scrap.
Yeah, now we have Luminosity deciding how they want to handle this Regieleki with multiple members of Peru looking for a possible fight here. Here comes Trainer right into a close combat, gonna have to peel back, but it looks like Tempo's in some trouble right now. Big time Leafeon Unite move as they push forward and pick up 3!
That was an amazing Emerald 2-step out of that Leafeon, and despite a decent smackdown on Tempo to try to get them away from the rest of the Peru squad, Luminosity is unable to convert, and it's Peru getting the best of it. Now they snag themselves a Regieleki, and they're going to see if they can do something.
You know, they took away this Scyther, but it doesn't seem like Peru minds too much. They might have actually gotten some better picks instead. Here comes the Unite move from Overlord as they move in for a fight.
Wow, 3 back the other way, and the chase continues. Trainer finally feeling this Scyther a little bit, and now Draken is forced to start flopping around and going on a rampage themselves as Trainer goes straight to score, and Slash is going to try and run cover, and they're able to get the quick knockout and more points in.
Look at this here. I mean, LG just keeping the pressure on score-wise. 216-33. Even though Peru's had some good fights, LG just continues to take over the map. Level-wise, this is closer than it was earlier in the match. However, Luminosity, 216 points, and they can start pushing towards some of these tier 2s. Peru, on the other hand, at least has some nice scoring opportunities and a lot of experience on their side of the map.
Yeah, Luminosity's taken a lot of, Peru's taken a lot of good fights. However, they've been on Luminosity's goal zones, which means as the players rotate back in, they've been able to stand there and defend it with the support of the goal zones that they have. Luminosity, on the other hand, when they win their fights, they're kind of out in the open, which allows them to collapse on goal zones and get points in. We're starting to score, we're getting attacks in. That's a big Puzzle Unite right in the middle. Overlord with the carry, 4 players down, dusted instantly off the back of this Scyther, and a nice Overlord Unite move.
Yeah, beautiful stuff here, and in the top path, they're trying to score, but you can see the Mew able to stop it right there. 295-33. Unite move to try to take down an MO right here, and look at that with the eject button tech. Otter picks them up. That's how you support by KO and everyone.
That's shades of the old school. That solar beam, Q up, eject button, get the knockout anyways on the reposition. Luminosity doing a great job all over this map and really snuffing out the flame that Peru Unite tried to start.
Yeah, and at this point, I mean, look at the levels here. That Scyther, after those multiple KOs, the huge scoring in the bottom path, is now a level 14 as they are heading, looking for a fight here.
Huge serve reposition. That, unfortunately, does not convert into anything, but at least slows down Peru a little bit. Instead of having a big-time win, they get 1 knockout, and they're kind of bullied back. Draken with the reposition on Slash gets them another knockout. Not that bad of a look, considering the situation that they're in at the start.
Yeah, you know, it's not terrible when it comes to the knockouts, but all the while, we still have Luminosity scoring. Now they're up by over 200 points as we're a minute out from Rayquaza. We also have Curios able to check the bush right there. Really beautiful surf, and look at the combination from this crew. Just absolutely ripping through Peru. Trainer level 15.
Draken can do nothing but run away. Mammoth Swine is chunky, but not in the face of 5. So they peel back after 3 players have been done and dusted. We got 30 seconds to array. Luminosity in full control.
Yeah, Luminosity controlling this thing way up on the scoreboard as we've talked about. And with a Registeel buff giving them extra damage as we move towards Rayquaza, a level 15 Scyther is devastating for Peru.
Yeah, Otter actually taking a look at their tier 1, just seeing if they can get some vision, / checking the front bush. Gonna, again, just try and figure out where Peru is, because the onus is on Peru to make a move.
Yeah, Peru needs to make a move here, but it looks like Luminosity wants to force them into a fight. They're going to start tapping this with the Buzzwole right here, charging up that muscle gauge, asking them to come in and fight.
Right in, the fight is engaged. Buzzwole Unite is out. Mewtwo wide follow-up, tons of damage down. Rayquaza taken by Luminosity in the blink of an eye, and now Draken's getting shredded here by the players remaining of LG. Ice Fang repositioned. The back half scores are starting for Peru to try and get themselves into this. Quick revive there from Slash the Ho-Oh as we are stomping towards the goal zones with at least a shield, question mark? Does Overlord still have theirs? No. Actually, all the shields broken, so a counter push is in the cards here.
Yeah, it's possible they can make a push right here, especially if Luminosity overcommits on this goal zone, but they definitely don't need this. 436 to 233 as we have Peru trying to stop them, but LG just continuing to fight on their tier 2, and they're picking up KO after KO after KO. They do have one shield. It's on Otter.
Yeah, Otter going to go to the middle, maybe pick up some AOS energy here, find their way, and really cement this thing into a game 1 win. As you have Slash getting vision, counting the players on the other side of the map. And Peru, if I were them, I would just start talking about game 2 and what their strategy is going to be.
Yeah, I think that's probably where they are. Of course, they would love to make a push happen here, but they have to score so much while also forcing Luminosity to score nothing at all. Down by over 200 points thanks to that early, strong score lead. Moving towards the goal zone here with 30 seconds left, Duke Snacks.
Yep, we're just going to start A-pressing, using all our abilities, using all our Unite moves. Overlord with another pop there as we went for an Emerald 2-step as well. Leafeon is going to be gone. Tempo getting a knockout, at least on Overlord for now. The Razor Leaf gets pulled back, and the push continues, but is it going to be enough? We're running out of time. 10 seconds left, and it continues. A good little surf reposition. That's 4 players down instantly, and guess what? Clefable can't hang. They're out of here.
Beautiful stuff from Luminosity, and you know, as they said, history just tends to repeat itself here against Peru. It feels like Peru is behind. Luminosity keeps pushing. There's really just no way for them to climb out of that water that Luminosity drags them into. A beautiful game from LG, who is looking to move towards your grand finals tomorrow on Championship Sunday.
Let's focus on the positives here for Peru. They had a good kind of early mid-game, right? From like, say, 6 minutes to 4.5. They were doing all right. They found some good fights. They brought that experience parity back, and it really looked like they had a chance. However, Luminosity, Kings of Counterpunch, this is one of them. Yeah. They just lost the fight, stayed on pad, and were able to rally back together, and all of a sudden you find yourself on the side of Peru getting dusted.
Yeah, I mean, Trainer really started to kick it into another gear as the match went on, right? Early on, didn't get a lot done with their Unite move, but as it went on, they hit that level 15, you know, before Rayquaza, just absolutely shredding through Peru. You could tell this was a wonderful, not only counter pick, but a great pick for Trainer, who can handle this Pokemon very well.
Yeah, I mean, you can actually see that right there. I believe it was Otter with the E-ball, right?
Looked like
they started the fight in the middle, forced all of Peru to go in, and the only job that Otter had was to hit their Unite move so they can go invis into the smoke and use the E-ball to secure. They did exactly that.
MVP of the game, Trainer, 12 KOs, 70,000 damage. You know, we talk a lot about all of the members of Luminosity. Each one is a bit of a superstar. Trainer, you know, I think Overlord gets a lot of the lion's share of the conversation when it comes to carrying, but Trainer is right there as one of the absolute best carries in the game. Unbelievably good, and you saw how powerful it was to be able to take away a strong pick from the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, they might have preferred a different speedster in that position, but the strength of that pick didn't come from what Trainer can do with it, but what they take away from the other team. And of course, Trainer, being no slouch and an absolute all-star himself, had no problem adjusting and using the Scyther to great success in game 1. Talk to me about Peru. How can we adjust here, Cowboy?
You know, that's what I wonder, right? Because I do think that Peru, it feels like they have already recognized that they can't beat LG. It feels like every time they run into LG, they feel like this, which leads me to believe they would need to try something that LG has not played against. They would need to play something not even that's wholly Peru. Maybe that's something they've, tried a few times in a few practices. Maybe they've played it together on ladder and have figured something out. I don't know if the tried and true Peru that absolutely dominates some teams in the UCS can take down LG. It certainly hasn't yet.
Yeah, again, they kind of, I don't want to say cookie cutter in a negative sense, but they're so good at the strategy that they have that it's really hard to peel yourself away when every time you do it, you're like, oh, we're getting second in the world. We're getting, second at this tournament, third at this tournament, finals here. But the thing is the team they can't overcome is the one that is uniquely great against what they try and do.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see the next pick here. We have an early lock-in for the Leafeon and Mammo Swine. Once again, two powerful picks, obviously. That Leafeon was real slow to get online for Peru. It just felt like they didn't get the value out of it they would have wanted, which would be get in there, tons of damage with Leafeon, put the pressure on them before. They weren't able to make much happen.
Okay, right now, everything is the exact same
Karena
it was
kita tahu
from
tadi
game one.
Luminosity
So
ngehajar,
Peru,
tapi
they either
ini
need to
udah
switch
ada
up or do a
inovasi
strategy switch up. And we'll see what that actually looks like here. We'll find out in these next two picks. We already have this Armor Rouge selected. Buzzwole is a decent changeup because Buzzwole has been good all weekend, and Overlord now grabbing Lucario back the other way with Mew rounded out by Otter. I'd like to see Lucario do something at this point.
Yeah, same. In fact, I even thought Lucario was all right on the side of Peru, but it just doesn't seem to win games. Now, given how well LG has been playing all day and given how well they play into Peru, I think they could have a pretty wonderful game in front of them. Almost everything the same for both of these squads, but we're switching some things up. Of course, the biggest being the Buzzwole steal from the side of Peru.
Yeah, so we literally just swapped these all-rounders here. Buzzwole for Peru, Luminosity on Lucario. Is that going to be enough? Could it be theoretically? We have seen Buzzwole take over some games, Cowboy.
It really does.
So, I mean, maybe that is part of this success. Is Luminosity really that concerned? I don't know. I honestly don't.
I'm not sure. They don't seem like it. I mean, we get to see them, obviously, right below us here on screen. We are looking at the players, and while Peru is very locked in, ready for this next match, they know they have a tough game in front of them. It's all smiles on the side of Luminosity. I don't think there's another opponent they would rather have in semifinals, honestly.
I think we got a nice view of Team Skull, I believe, is who that is from the Alola region. Is that correct?
You know what? I'm going to take your word for it. I didn't ask.
Listen, if I didn't ask, I could have said that with all the confidence in the world. I would have been right.
I bet you were right.
I'm
hearing from production you're wrong about everything.
That was wrong?
Everything you said?
That can't be
all
everything.
show.
All right.
Heading into game number 2 here, Luminosity, your purple team,
Game
Peru,
dua,
your orange team. Down one game right here to LG. The winner of this Doob Snacks makes it to the grand finals tomorrow in the arena for Championship Sunday.
Well, after they win this one, they need another one if you're LG. And if you're Peru,
good
you
point.
need to get
the
three.
winner of this best of 5 is what I
baby.
mean.
We're going all the way to end out the day. Slash quickly getting some points in. Why not? Curios is there, and they're going to see if they can bully this path again. They did a decent job last time, and why flip the script now? I mean, you used the players to your advantage. Is Overlord going to make Lucario work? That's my question.
Yeah, that is a question right here, and it actually looks like Anemo is going to get that early advantage, right? Leafeon amazing at level 4. Lucario needs that level 5. So they were actually able to make something happen right there. Production said nothing.
Right by proxy.
I don't even know what that means.
I was correct by proxy then.
That just means that once again, we're casting production's on break.
Per usual.
Yep.
Per usual. 850 birds about to populate. Curios rolling through, and we've got a 4v4 up top. Good punch by Overlord, immediately eviscerated by Anemo. Slash, half their HP is gone. Dual wing beat creates space, but not allowed to follow up his trainer because of the Razor Leaf.
Really great stuff from Peru, right?
Yeah.
This is what you want to see from Leafeon. You want to be able to get that early advantage. You want to make sure that you can use that to slow your opponents down, and they have. Overlord, however, coming in, trying to make something happen here with the extreme speed. They do pick up a KO on the support.
So we've got a bit of a difference here. Obviously, Overlord using that extreme speed. That's not the direction that Peru Unite went with Lucario. We need to see if that's a difference maker. Otter using those light screens, trying to get away from tempo, and picks up the Bunnelby and just beats you down with the hair.
Yeah, beautiful stuff here. And once again, Leafeon continues to push forward. This is what Peru needs. This is what they were missing from game number 1. If you're picking Leafeon and you're behind, everything has gone horribly wrong. But that is not the case here for game number 2. Leafeon much more in control of the top path, already level 8, which means they have that early Unite move.
Yeah, I mean, outpacing Trainer, right? And Trainer the other game, again, was ahead in this moment. And you have to wonder, is the strength of Buzzwole what facilitates or keeps from facilitating Anemo from taking over? And it seems to be kind of the song we're singing here in game 2.
Well, the question is it the strength of Buzzwole or the weakness of Lucario? We won't know until this game is over, as we have the birds here for 720. We have Leafeon deciding when they want to come in, not able to take them back with the Ice Fang. Really nice full heal right there, but they are going to continue this push.
Slash able to pick up a couple berries. Ice Fang reposition. Here comes Trainer. They're trying to get Draken down, popping their Unite move. Scoring in the background is Zainu. Emo running away. The wing beat there. Razor Leaf is down. Tons of power.
Tapi kali ini bisa dipanis Leafeon ya. Leafeon kalau jadi memang
Yeah, beautiful stuff here from Peru. This is exactly what they need to be doing right now. Overlord moving in, using that extreme speed to make their way through this fight.
Lucario
Gets the KO, and they do. Regice getting very low right here, and Slash gets a KO. Regice now going down to Luminosity.
Lucarionya bagus.
Backside Kea there as well. They easily take the basement Reggie because Peru is no longer willing to commit to it. Meanwhile, we do have the Buzzwole working on Reggie Alecki up top. Kea goes down, can't get a berry despite walking towards it. And now, that might be the turning of the times Luminosity needs, because they have now taken the experience advantage, despite being down 100 on the score.
Ini XP-nya tetap
They had a rough early game right there, but with Lucario making their way down to this bottom path and picking up the objective, LG is right back in this thing. Overlord with the Unite move,
10-10, 8-8, Peru 9-10, 9-7-7.
And we're going to see if they're going to use them in this next fight.
Portnya kalah sih, tapi
Kraken just turned the wrong corner there. 3 players waiting for him. Now it's a 3v2. Kea needs to pick up Zainu. Zainu needs to run away and try to get some spacing here as they're going straight for them, putting the pressure on. Nice Moonlight out of Clefable, going to top off Zainu's a little bit, and it's enough to bully out Luminosity, so not a bad defense as Draken is now back in the mix.
Yeah, this was great. I mean, just 2 members of Peru able to hold off that push there from Luminosity. Still up on the scoreboard, Luminosity with only 38 points. Game 2 looking a lot better for Peru.
Absolutely. We're trying to take that contestable farm. Is Slash in the face of 3. Unsuccessful here as we have a big rotation by LG.
Yeah, LG heading to the top path right here, looking to start a fight. Trainer deciding whether or not they want to move in, and it looks like Tempo able to get a good defense right there.
Dari Mewtwo.
Yeah, I mean, Otter sacrificing space. Kia is trying to get to the team, but now they find out everybody's already knocked out, and Moonlight on a body is not worth anything here as that goal zone is closed out. That score lead has shrunk, and what separates these 2 teams is a merely 8 points.
Yeah, 133-141. Luminosity right back in it after a beautiful push here. Level-wise, they are now starting to outpace Peru, so the early advantage that Peru has shrunk almost entirely, and these 2 teams are about dead even as Luminosity heads towards Reggie Steele here in the bottom path. Slash trying to zone them out before they move in.
Looks like Overlord might try to drop on top of their heads here. Earthquake engaged by Draken. Attempt doesn't find anybody. 2-step on top of Overlord, but now Trainer gets the follow-up, and they're actually boxing them out on the chase and in the backline. Cannon out of Overlord, and they're looking to E-speed through the team. The gravity is down, which just shuts that down for just a minute, but the rage continues. Buzzwole tries to pop their Unite move, but it's 4 players down, and there's just too much strength in the unit that is Luminosity when they're just collapsing on top of your head.
Yeah, and
dan lihat gerakannya udah tahu timnya kalah, si ininya langsung invade, dan ini 1 lawan 1, tapi dia cuma support dan harusnya mas.
Curious now. Might get 2 for the price of 1 right here if they're not careful. And Emma waiting here in the Targets, but here comes Trainer to help.
Yeah, exactly what they're trying to do. Just bait. Now Anemo's in a tough spot here. This
Dikejar Trainer ini.
If they can close the door, 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. They're pinned into the corner. 2-step doesn't get anybody, and that resource is expended, but it's fine. They'll get it back in time.
Yeah, they were waiting as long as they could in that moment, right? They were praying they were able to get that Unite move back and maybe pick up a huge KO, but their HP was already too low with 3 members of Luminosity chasing them there. Reggie Alecki is walking towards the side of LG, but they're going to clean this up pretty quickly right here. Level 14 on the Scyther, once again running away with this match. Might be 15 by Rayquaza.
Otter does go down, but something special out of Otter's Mew is the way that they rotate through all those different attacks. That big surf creating space so Overlord and Slash could get out of there was pivotal. Yeah, give up Otter. Make sure that you save those two.
Yeah, Otter, I mean, their Mew is so incredible. They kind of created an entire new Mew for players to use, which was support Mew. Able to play in still as potent of a way as a Mew that would be carrying normally. 2 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock. Everyone here towards Rayquaza a lot earlier than you might expect. Overlord is trying to see exactly where Peru is.
Okay, Slash kind of caught out, chipped up, knocked out there, low on HP. Flamethrowers down, but they get knocked out. Tempo reposition on Overlord. Mewtwo-Y unite. The damage is out. Is the follow-up there?
Engage-nya dapat Leveon, ini bahaya, ini bencana 6 detik.
Yeah, it has, but
Dan seperti Overlord zoning.
It looks like they want to make a fight.
Zoning dan hidup, dan itu penting sekali. Punish dari LG. 3 mati, tunggu apa lagi? Graffiti jauh sekali. Tapi itu sedikit keraguan mengerjakan Rayquaza.
Yeah, Peru has to figure something out. Rayquaza actually did not end up resetting. The HP is still about at half as Kaya's in some trouble right here. We have Luminosity pushing them forward, but Rayquaza still being chipped enough to not reset on HP. It looks like Peru's trying to find a steal.
Now they're coming back through. Knocked out is the Mewtwo-Y, and now they have to push back forward. The Resident Peru took it. Peru took it out from under the nose of Luminosity.
Warga dua langsung ke hajar.
It looks amazing for them as only 2 members of LG remain. Score.
Lihat ya sini menurut gua agak.
Luminosity push actually
back into the fight.
Oh no. Yeah, it has, but they're
ini dia keraguan yang diciptakan oleh Luminosity sendiri, guys, menurut gua. Kenapa kita lihat? Dia udah dapet ini. Dia udah dapet Liveon kan? Terus ini kalau nggak salah mati 2, mati 3. Gua rasa di sini harus lebih. Kayaknya ya menurut gua optimal play-nya lebihnya ke Rip. Tapi ya ditunggu, ditahan, dia hanya respon, ulti, cuman ini ya, ulti cuma ho-off, ho-nya maju, kena mukul, graffiti, terus udah, di rip aja udah. Ternyata udah dikerjain DC ya atau apa. Dan ya mati 1, mati 2, hidupin tapi tetap nggak bisa.
Peru has a great opportunity to score and it's looking good.
It looks amazing for them as only 2 members of
Dan ya game 2 begitu aja langsung keadaan berbalik.
What did you see there? How did Peru navigate that?
I loved it. Peru continuously chipped at Ray, making sure the HP never recovered on it, opening up an opportunity for them to move in. They ran in with the Armor Rouge Fire Spin. They threw everything they could at it after Rayquaza was already under half. Really great play. And, as always, Lucario loses.
Yeah. You know, where's Blaziken?
Yeah, great question.
You know, we're talking about if there... I think the theory is Lucario is, on paper, better than Buzzwole early.
Yeah, and way better than Blaziken early.
Totally fair. But if you're going to let a Nemo crash and get a big-time knockout anyways, wouldn't you rather end the game with a Blaziken than Lucario? I don't know, Spraggles. That's why I'm in the booth.
I gotta say, I mean, Trainer looked pretty amazing once again on this Scyther.
Buzzwole 2, Lucario 0.
This game. I think their Leafeon was absolutely on point in game number 2, giving them the advantage that they needed, which actually let them keep pace with LG for so long. And here's that moment where Ray still is ended up, getting chipped. They move right in, Armor Rouge with the Fire Spin, making their way in. Buzzwole with the secure, multiple members of Luminosity down.
Yeah, and that's a bit unfortunate, when you're...
right, thank you so much, Spraggles. And welcome to these lovely people here to the Analyst Lounge. We have Tiddlywomp, Draco-san, and Steel Agent Kyle. We're going to be having a look at this next draft because the series is 1-1. And I think Tiddlywomp here was very excited about that win, weren't you?
Yes, I was. Big fan of Peru, so really happy to see that win. Especially that raid fight was really interesting to watch, especially the raid fight while we were going over it. It was nice to see the damage layering to make sure that they were able to secure it and force Luminosity into a scramble. It was really cool. I liked it.
Yeah, me too. I also did because having a best of 5 just makes it so much more exciting, especially you both knowing as casters as well as Draco. I know that you are supporting Luminosity right now, but it's still a best of 5. There's plenty to be played, isn't it?
Yeah, Luminosity just have been and will always be one of the best teams North America has ever produced. And one thing about Luminosity is they've always been very good at adapting to their opponent. And while, like Overlord was saying during his interview, if history tells itself, they should be on top of the set.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Kyle, do you have any pick in particular that you think this is going to happen, either for Peru or Luminosity?
I mean, Armor Rouge looked really fantastic for Peru in the last match. I like seeing LG utilize it at NAIC. They worked it to perfection. I think if they were to go with it again, I think it works really well into those brawly compositions. But also, we have to say hi to Husky, too.
It's true. She's on the broadcast. And it's on your screen, the draft as well. Luminosity on that purple side, Peru Unite on the orange. The bans have come through. Suicune, nothing new under the sun. Snorlax with a Charizard and a Latios. First pick is a Ho-Oh. It's just so powerful, right, Tiddly?
Yeah, it's a very powerful defender. It really just... It's that one and Snorlax that I always see, and they always come through, no matter what team is playing them. It's just been consistent throughout the entire event.
One pick that has been shining quite a bit, there was a little bit of an underdog, Draco. It was the Mamoswine, now picked for Peru.
Yeah, Mamoswine has just been a really strong defender. I think a lot of the defenders over the most recent balance patches have been tuned down, which allowed Pokemon or defenders like, for example, Suicune or Mamoswine to really shine in that defender role position. And right now we also have fairly high dive in terms of the Pokemon that are being selected. So like this Scyther or this Leafeon on the side of Peru and Mamoswine, if they are able to get an Ice Fang on any one of those Pokemon, that can literally change the game.
Yeah, and I was listening to Sprago saying, and Juicenex as well, we have, Kyle, a Buzzwole on this team. No Lucario. What are your thoughts?
I mean, Buzzwole is really good in the early game. It does kind of fall off a little bit on the later side, but if you get off to that early start that a lot of teams are really desperately going for, it's the perfect pick in that top lane. Plus, it's really good into Charizard. Obviously, Charizard banned, but I really do like Buzzwole in that top half.
Right, me too. Right, take it away, Casas, to finish up this draft, and we're getting ready for that game 3.
Thank you very much. Always cool seeing some of the casters that, of course, been on broadcast, members of the community, run through this draft. You and I were just talking about it a little bit. So happy to see the Blaziken instead of that Lucario. Very similar look, obviously, here from Peru. And I'm interested to see Crustle, because I have not really seen this Pokemon too much from LG.
No, but we have seen teams like Nouns use it. It had a very solid showing day 1 as well to just kind of harass the other team. Another Pokemon that Slash kind of likes to defer to in this slot is like a Mr. Mime, right? With the walls, and you're just creating roadblocks all over the map. But the thing I'm most excited about is the change by LG from Cheeks Lucario to this Blaziken, because at least at the end of the day, you have an overheat. At least.
Yeah, I mean, I think Blaziken obviously does a lot better than Lucario as the match goes on. We've talked about some good reasons that you might want to run it early, and I do think for a lot of these players, it's a comfort pick going a long ways back. And into most all teams out there, it would be totally fine, and you dominate them. But you're running into one of the best teams in the world right now, and it just doesn't look like it's up to snuff as we get ready for game number 3. All tied up between our 2 squads here. Luminosity, your purple team. Peru Unite, your orange team. This is a best of 5, so you're going to need to win 2 more of these to head to our grand finals, no matter which team you are.
I don't know if there's any merit to this, but I think I kind of would have liked to see Overlord swap with Curios and take it into the bottom path here. And because you're kind of squaring up against a Char Cadet, and you might have an opportunity to feel less pressure than when Anemo crashes in the top path and you have to play a little bit more safe. Now the switch that we did get, of course, is Otter is on the Ho-Oh now.
Yeah, and we can see Anemo trying to put some pressure on here in the top path. Obviously, they have a much better shot at securing a lot of this with that Leafeon up there. Trainer, however, making their way to the top path, already level 5, ready to fight. Overlord's going to need some help to get there.
Yeah, and you know, once it hits Combustion, at least it has the opportunity to drag members of the other team back across the map and help Trainer clean up the trash here.
Luminosity with an 81% win rate against Peru as everyone's crashing on this fight right now.
Now Slash is low on HP as they have a hyper over rotation. Whoever gets the KOs here is going to come out ahead.
Whoa.
Trainer gets one. Everyone's low. Draken's trying to get out. They're on a sliver of HP. Otter's on the chase. They want this knockout. Overlord would have loved it too, but I think the damage has been done. Trainer getting the big time knockout is something they are ecstatic over.
Great fight from Luminosity right there, but I have to give it up to Peru. You know, obviously they could have lost so much more in that moment with that incredibly strong rotation from LG. As we head down to the bottom path right here, we can see Zynus now on the Armoroo, so they do have the level 5.
Otter's low on HP, going to try and drag Tempo's attention away from the Combustion here. But look at the window of opportunity that was opened up downstairs. The pressure of the Mega Mewtwo Y allows them to bully out and get some points in. Peru, seeing this as an opportunity, gets points in up top, and these score lines are staying static.
Yeah, not only are they getting some points in, right? These are two stacking Pokemon that are charging up that attack weight in an extreme way right now. Gonna make them very powerful for the next fight. Plus, I know we're really close to Leafeon hitting level 8, so they'll have a Unite move very soon. One of the greatest things about Leafeon is how it just gets everything one level earlier than most all of the Pokemon in the game.
Absolutely. We've got 7:25 on the clock. Rolling through is Overlord. We've got a 4v4. These teams really feel like they know each other as we have Zynus popping the fire wheel around them. Emerald two-step gets 2. A huge read out of Peru, and LG has to sit on pad and look at themselves saying, what just happened? Draken with a decent engage there as well.
I think LG needs to wake up right now. Because they thought this was going to be an easy matchup with Team Peru, especially after game number 1. But they are here to play, Doom Snacks. They are reacting, changing what they're doing based on LG, and having better games each time. Looking fantastic here as they're going to put the pressure on this goal zone. Trainer in the top path right here, just having a 1v1 with the Regieleki as the scores are going in bottom.
I mean, it looks like Draken able to get past the Rock Tomb. Kea not so fortunate. However, the delay was not really worth much here as Slash is still trying to babysit this bottom path. But look at Anemo is sitting in the central area of Luminosity as Luminosity has the Regieleki hit, and they really need to whittle down this goal zone straight in. His Draken with a deep engage. Buzzwole Unite is out as well. They're on the backside. Otter is getting beat down, and now we just popped the Emerald two-step. Didn't really catch anyone, but it gives them enough sustain to keep pushing. Overlord goes down, Chaos Streak a 2 for Anemo, and now Trainer has to dual win beat 4 players. Are you kidding me?
Wow. Beautiful follow me, by the way, from Kea right there. That was perfect. Catching Overlord. They caught them in the tall grass, made sure they were not able to get out and pick up another KO. Peru in a powerful position right here. Zynus in some trouble, having to peel away from this fight, but they might not be able to catch them.
That was just a win. Popping the Unite move, kind of that Mega Man-like shot, and able to run away without getting knocked out is just another ounce of value Peru was able to squeeze out of LG.
And we can see Clefable here in the tall grass, hanging out with an Emo. They move it with a massive Emerald two-step, pick it up 2, continuing to run through Luminosity. The Mewtwo Y Unite back the other way. They get another with a Hyper Beam.
Golly, Tempo beating up Slash with Draken in tow. They're putting tons of damage on, and now we're Rebel rousing. Slash trying to X-Scissor through, replaces 2. Trainer is trying to get in there and cause some damage. The goal zone stays at 2. The Razor Leaf is pulled back in. Rock Tomb is down, actually boxing out Trainer. The pressure continues. Otter's flamethrowering down, and now we've got 5-ish seconds till a basement Reggie.
Yeah, we do have the Unite move from the Ho-Oh, right? Otter has that rekindling flame, able to bring the team back here in this fight. Peru is looking to make them use it as they push towards this Regice. Actually, just allowing Anemo to score and not engage engaging.
Valuing the 26 over cap and the score lead here, over 100 for Peru, and I like that call. Safely get your Leafeon's pockets empty and get yourself in a strong lead.
And here we have Anemo just seeing if they could steal away any of this right here, continuing to put some pressure on. Tempo getting X-scissored into the wall right there by Slash. Nice little catch, Kea in the Rock Tomb. As they peel up towards Regieleki, no one from either team starting it just yet.
Yeah, we can't have Overlord and Otter walk into another ambush by Anemo, right? They have the two-step again. They've done it twice already for two packs. Bang! Slash repositioned, and that draws the attention away, which means the flank for the two-step is there. They're finally able to dodge one, but the Buzzwole Unite is out, and it does get a knockout on Slash. Now Otter's got to get into the mix. Maybe it's time for that rekindling flame, but no, they go down before it's used.
Wow, I mean, Peru is so in this series, it's incredible.
Love seeing
Up against Luminosity right here. 115-222 as they take another objective. This is going to walk towards LG, but it looks like Peru recognizes there's a lot that they need to do on the map. Luminosity trying to make a counter push in the bottom path here, but it looks like Peru has snuffed that out. They're pushing them back away from this goal zone.
Nice little box out position here. Just their presence is enough for Luminosity to leave. They have so much wild Pokemon on their side of the map. I'd go farm that up.
Yeah, there is a lot that they need to get right now. Overlord doing well, level-wise, almost level 13. Same thing on the other side, we've got the level 13 from the Leafeon here. Level-wise, this match is quite close, but Peru with a positional advantage, a goal zone advantage, and they have a great setup here for this bottom Reggie if they decide to fight near. But it actually looks like they're going to make a sneaky play and possibly score top.
Yeah, if LG's taking quick inventory of who's here, they kind of know that there's a presence for Peru. They're trying to suss it out. Big time back cap here. So now they know that they get this Regirock for free. You immediately see LG pivoting to try and get these points in because nobody's going to be there to stop them. And although they are still behind, at least they're trying to keep that gap as small as possible.
The Regirock buff is going to be really nice heading into Rayquaza right here, but you got to give it up to Peru, putting more points on the scoreboard, basically taking a play out of LG's book. This is what Luminosity loves to do, is walk into Ray with enough of a lead where your opponents need to make a decision. That allows them to make some big mistakes that you can capitalize on. Now Peru is in that spot. With this massive score lead right here, Luminosity is going to need to find a good fight instead of the other way around. 3 seconds until Rayquaza. We have Peru just trying to figure out where Luminosity is. Anemo running around the side, seeing if they can move in for a fight, while we have Overlord chipping at Rayquaza. No one's starting the engagement just yet. Leafeon waiting for the perfect moment.
I think they know where Overlord is, but the call hasn't been made just yet. We're trying to get somebody to focus in the wrong way so they can pounce. They still don't know where... And Otter just found an Nemo. That's actually a big site. Now they have full information right now, Sprague.
Beautiful information here. Slash up into the air. They decide not to move forward with this fight here, but Mewtwo Y is mega.
Big
Here's the
rumble
Unite
round.
move.
Huge X-Scissor into the Rock Tomb. Follow-up Scissor or Unite is out. And immediately Dragon is dealt with. Whoa! 4 players in an instant. LG took the fight. Anemo's the only one left standing. Emerald two-step does catch one, but the chase is on. Rekindling Flame pops up and gets back Trainer. Rayquaza's going to be LG's, but they still need to close that score gap. However, plate full of burgers right in front of them.
Look at that delete button from Luminosity. The Crustal Unite with the eject button, pushing them forward into the team, stunning them, then into that X-Scissor, and that was it for them. Luminosity just ran through the entirety of Peru. Peru in a beautiful position before that fight, but LG played Rayquaza incredibly. Still though, 433, 324, but with multiple members of Peru still down, it looks like LG is going to be able to continue scoring.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what the shields are looking like. Crustle certainly has theirs as well. Getting more points in 601, 324, 25 seconds left. I think this one's done for as Peru is rinsed here in game 3. I mean, again, Otter Slash coming through.
Yeah.
You talked about the Rock Tomb X's or Gargantuan, but something that doesn't show up on any stat sheet anywhere was the Otter flamethrowing into the bush and finding an Emo, which gives their whole team every ounce of information they need. That allows Slash to go in because the delete button for Peru was so far away. That was a clean engagement. I mean, these two teams are fun to watch.
This is
Holy
probably the best series we've seen between these two squads.
Not close.
Peru putting LG through their paces right here. LG behind in that game, needing to make a massive play. But this is why they have won every international event they have been to this season. When they are together, under, the big lights on the big stage, they play better than basically any team in the game. They are now one game away from your grand finals.
Again. Don't forget, grand finals at the World Championships again. Looking for that three-peat here as we take a look at replays from Game 3.
Yeah, beautiful game here from Peru. A lot of huge moments for them, and it really felt like this was their game to lose, and unfortunately for them, they did. This was that nice moment where the follow me found Overlord in the bush. A lot of big fights out of Peru, using Leafeon exactly how it needs to be, which is to put insane amounts of pressure on early and give the team a nice advantage. Unfortunately, as we head towards the end of the match right here, you can see this is the moment where they caught them with that Unite with the eject button. Mewtwo Unite, by the way, right on top of it, just to make sure that they were continually stunned in that moment. Unfortunately, Leafeon at level 14 really doesn't compare to some of the other speedsters at that level. MVP, once again, Trainer on the Scyther.
Trainer on the Scyther, of course. I mean, if you want a masterclass of how to operate in a Ray fight and seeing the opportunity and seizing it, you have it right there. Otter gets the last piece of information that LG was missing. Where is Anemo, who had been honestly laying traps and exploding them over and over again? And then they have that monster Rock Tomb X Scissor, Scyther Unite, Mewtwo Y Unite. Everybody's gone, and what can Anemo do at that point? Not much.
Yeah, and here we go, heading into our next game. They are banning out the Leafeon. I think that makes a lot of sense here. They do not want to see Peru with this Pokemon. They have clearly gotten it online. They are ready. They don't want to see Anemo put that pressure on anymore, put them too far behind in the last match. We got Charizard, Latios banned on the other side, Snorlax, and Leafeon. First pick over here to Luminosity, and Peru lost that last game, so they could have taken the opportunity for the first pick, but they didn't want to. They're going to take the next two picks. Luminosity locking in Suicune.
I love this for LG. I think that's a great reaction and a good read on what Peru is trying to limit, what they're trying to do. Luminosity taking the pole position here, up a game in our semifinals to try and qualify for the grand finals. However, this was Peru in a unique situation. Draken has to nab the Ho-Oh now, otherwise they know what's going on the side of Luminosity, and we have the Scyther in play.
I mean, this is pretty great for Peru. They were able to take Ho-Oh and Scyther. These are two picks that Luminosity has been doing very well with. However, we have a steal back the other way, saying, all right, fine, you get the Scyther, you get the Ho-Oh. We are going to take this Armarouge away because it is so dang difficult for us to deal with, and Curios wants to keep using Mewtwo Y. Curios feels like silently just continuing to carry through the matches, all of the auto attacks, all of the damage from Mewtwo. I don't know what to say about this. I gotta say I love to see it. I can't wait to see what happens with Cram. 14% pick rate? Where have I been?
Not watching these games, just like me apparently. Zainu's grabbing Cran with confidence, by the way. That was just, boom, it's on, it's locked in. Let's press A on these guys. Tempo rounding out this draft with a potential gutter pick Blaziken.
Oke, 2-1
And then
ya.
we have to assess what we got going on in this draft.
2-1
And I
Luminos.
can't say that I only have my eyes
Sekarang
on
kita
Cram
ke
right
game
now.
3 di mana picknya sedikit-sedikit dicuri. Mewtwo Y, Armarouge, Suicune, Baswo.
And they are putting their energy behind the bird. I don't know what to say about it.
Blaziken 1-0 Baswo berarti ya. Sekarang Scizor jadi ambil, Ho-Oh jadi ambil. Dan akhirnya ada Zacian. Pikir 36% dari mana Zacian? Ini gue baru pertama kali lihat Zacian.
Managed to muscle out Nouns from this tournament. Peru kind of doing this, not to that extreme obviously, but like trying something new, or at least maybe going into a pocket pick, going into a unique strategy that maybe Luminosity isn't too familiar with, and trying to create some of their own magic here.
Interestingly enough, we've got a focus band on the Cramorant. Okay, we're moving some items around right here. We had a focus band. We moved that around for a buddy barrier to give you a little more sustain during that Unite move. Really powerful Unite from Cram, especially if you're able to use it aggressively. I think people often use Cramorant's Unite move in a defensive way when you're defending a goal zone or something like that. But I love seeing some early damage going to an enemy team. Cram getting really aggressive and zoning out an entire area and picking up some KOs at the same time. I cannot wait to see how they play it, and obviously for them it needs to be great because this could be their final game. Luminosity, your purple team, up 2 games in our best of 5 to 1 game from Peru, your orange team. The winner of this match, if it is LG, moves on to the grand finals once again.
The bottom path, we've got 2 good early Pokemon on each side of the board here as they're jockeying for position, trying to get some contestable farm and get that early advantage.
Yeah, and here we go. Zynos just trying to bully out / push them away from some of this so that they can get a secure right here, and they do. They are able to secure that. Obviously, they have a much easier job than securing on the other side. We see Otter and Overlord in the top path, trying to get all of their experience, get Overlord to that 5. Anemo not able to make a KO happen. His trainer's actually playing that Armarouge in the central area.
Yeah, I mean, get past Charcadet into Armarouge, and maybe we'll see something else spin into the middle. Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. Doesn't necessarily matter. What they were able to do, though, is react well to a changeup from Peru. And now, well, those birds didn't last but a moment here. But it's about 3v2. They're putting the pressure on. Zynos has to fade backwards. Dragon is trying to get some space, but at least some points are going to go in for Luminosity. The counter punch on top, though, for Peru, not successful.
Yeah, Peru not able to make much happen in the top path. LG, the only point scorer. Zynos coming down here to the bottom path. Looks like they were trying to keep up, but they were
they had no idea. They absolutely walked into the guillotine that is Luminosity Gaming, hiding out in that L bush.
And here we have the top path. Tempo continuing to score. Level 6 now, Buzzwole in the top path. So they're still doing well up there. You know, Zacian obviously able to put a lot of pressure on your opponents early, and the Buzzwole is behind because of that. However, level 5 is extremely powerful on Buzz.
Without a doubt. Rolling back up top, Otter trying to get some vision, contesting over the 8-minute birds in the middle. Over-pressurized is Peru here with more players. Tempo on the backside, good damage on Otter, but not enough for a KO quite.
Otter obviously able to use that light screen in a really impressive way, create some distance right there and peel away from that fight. Tempo, if they were left to their devices, will just be able to rip through them with that damage from Zacian. As we are getting ready for another fight in the top path, again, Buzzwole still only level 5, so they have been able to take a lot of experience away from the all-rounder in the top path.
Yeah, that's terrific, and you can't forget that Peru is trying to get going right back in. Overlord is low, light screen creates separation and space, and now Tempo can't convert on the knockout. Tempo's low on HP, we're back on the 3 position.
Sekarang ada feature langsung ganti, jadi nggak F-screening.
Cramorant doesn't have enough in the tank.
Wah, karakter obbolnya tidak membunuh. Dan kita lihat objektif pertama di atas ya. Peru is planning to either fight or defend it right here. Zynos moving forward, trying to get a KO on teman-teman Kirias dengan zone yang sangat baik dan wasit dari Mew dan langsung saja di engage harusnya, dan ini dia Regia lagi berhasil masuk 30 dan 30 exactly 80 dan di bawah Zacian berhasil nge-kill Registeel dan ada Humpa portal di mana kita lihat ada biak untuk diri ini akan dikontestasi di mana sepertinya langsung saja dibanting segala macam yang ada. Tapi kita lihat itu Humpa manggil Kramo.
Yeah, we only have one member of Luminosity down here, and we are moving forward right now, trying to
dan segala macam mental cloud, tapi aja di situ bisa kan difonis. Mewtwo sudah berubah. Unite move saja dari Caesar Skyter, tidak mendapatkan siapa-siapa. Dan ini dia double kill 20
scoring points 146 to 43. They're up by 100, and they are humming, my boy.
Yeah, here we go. Nice 2 points, getting that goal as close as it possibly can be for a big overcap 181-43.
sangat terapi menuju final. Kita tahu Delta Division sudah menunggu. Ada serangan-serangan yang ada.
Unbelievably powerful.
Menit 5:25 belum terlihat siapa yang akan menang, tapi LG tentunya di huge lead untuk 5 menit pertama game keempat ini.
Decent attempt there by
Peru,
but
maju
it's not enough.
dapat
Otter
2.
does a decent job with the surf, setting up
Itu
Overlord
United ya dari Basel. Huge lead sudah dapat pengumuman.
He just sets up so many plays for the team, so difficult to take
Tempo, tapi di sini berhasil kan di Paris United. Basel masih hidup ternyata Basel.
Great U2Y Unite, good reaction time by Luminosity, and the fact that Overlord
And
gets out of that
Unite
is just cherry on top of the sundae. Otter just keeping an eye. I don't think they're going to contest too hard. Just do their best with the light screens and everything that
Dikejar-kejar saja yang
buys some time, but not quite enough as Luminosity gives it up and starts pushing top.
Nice score here from Peru in that bottom path, though, and they're going to get this objective. However, this
sedangkan itu Basel-nya kebunuh dan mereka bisa kerjain 1 lawan 1 Suicune. Harusnya Suicune kalah ya, tapi itu cuma teori. Siapa tahu Suicune-nya bisa lasit. Kita lihat Suicune Unite dan oke, as expected sebetulnya. Tapi dia udah low dan dapat future sight ya ternyata dari
Any points in, everybody bases, take a deep breath. We're in the mid game.
We are 181-144. Again, Peru is on the ropes right now. They need this or they are going to be going home. Their chance of winning World Championship once again will be stopped at that 5-yard line. They just can't seem to make it all the way to the grand finals. Luminosity, however, this is not, unfamiliar for them. They take a lot of teams to moments like this. They're able to take them down throughout this entire season. They have had the best run that any team in the Unite Championship Series has ever had. And they want to cement that with their World Championship victory. In front of them is Peru, ahead here in this game. In the next 3 minutes, they could be locking in their grand finals appearance.
Secara skor dikejar dikit, tapi secara level seimbang ya. 12, 12, 13, 11, 10. Itu untuk Peru. Untuk ini 11, 10, 13, 10, 12.
Trying to set the record straight one more time this year.
Yeah, and of course they would have to run into what looks like the unstoppable
5 detik Regi kayaknya ada
before Championship Sunday.
We
still have another match of Pokemon Unite to finish right here. Maybe 2 if Peru can pull out a victory. Hopefully they can make something happen with this Cramorant. I feel like it's been a bit of a non-factor in this match compared to maybe some of the other picks that they could have brought in. But we're heading towards a Rayquaza fight. Peru is behind, but they have a lot of ways to win this thing.
A lot of great tools, Zacian can secure.
Lagi dibiarin masuk ya.
However, and we've got 10 seconds. Overlord's just marching forward. They know where Zainus is. It looks like it's kind of a bait for a reposition.
Yeah, here we go. We actually have Peru looking to score here in this bottom path. Luminosity is up, but by under 100 points. And I don't think LG wants to win right now. But they are moving forward, trying to find
langsung open ulti.
To stop the Scyther score,
open ulti juga bodo amat ya.
Able to get back into the mix. They might be able to pick up Zainus. Zainus is low on HP. You wanted to pick up a target
Dapat
there.
cepet yang butuh LG.
The reset is still existing. Hoopa has their Unite as well.
I don't know. I think this play was great
Backgap 12.
actually, as we have a member
Dikejar, Miunya ketangkep. Dan di sini kita lihat
waiting right now while Peru is up
posisi sangat baik untuk siapa namanya, dan langsung di Unite, di rip saja oleh Peru Unite, dan sepertinya Peru Unite mendapatkan saja di situ dalam dari 5 LG harus bergugur gugurian hari ini di Einstein. He's got silver scrapes.
These two teams have squared off.
we are heading to a game number 5. You know, Cramorant with the triple KO right there.
Wah, Hupa itu dia yang tadi gue bilang ya. Kalau Hupanya bisa sebagai game changer, ya itulah momen-momen game changer. Dia tahu backet dengan sabar, kepancing satu armor dan langsung saja di-unite dan langsung tanpa ragu. Tapi kita lihat bagaimana last push.
All Peru really needs to do right now is not get KO'd.
Dengan Zacian berhasil menjadi solusi.
It's a pretty easy box to check here, especially
Langsung kembali mati honor.
Peru Unite rebounding well against the two-time world champions in Luminosity Gaming, and now we are
dikejar-kejar
to a game 5.
That's right. This is
Dan sepertinya kita akan menuju game. Reset untuk LC.
One of them will head to our grand
Wow.
finals. The Cramorant.
Ini dia, game 5.
Crazy, chaotic attacker pick that you don't see much in the tournaments these days. All of a sudden pulls off a huge victory here and takes us to the closest series between these two squads all year.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen great value out of the Cram Unite, right? It was kind of being used, scattershot here and there, setting it up right in the middle of the Ray pit when your team's going straight for it, forcing Luminosity could then, because you just put a bunch of points in.
Aku hadir.
Incredible here.
Basul sekarang 4 pertandingan dipakai semua dan 2-2 ya sekarang.
Final 2 minutes 30 seconds that things started to come together for Peru.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking back. I thought the Unite was clever. The Mewtwo Y Unite was clever to stop the score, and I think what Kyrios was thinking is that as soon as they went to score, the rings would go unbound, so they would be able to stop them and have them either have to decide to come through or score. But the Hoopa Unite was sandbagged just long enough so they could get the value, and Anemo getting the nod as MVP. Scizor has never been on our screen this much. Ever.
It's true. You know, it was stolen away by LG, and it looks like that was actually a pretty huge steal, right? Because this is a comfort pick for the side of Peru, and they play very well with it. I think the one Pokemon I did not expect to see at all, of course, Cramorant making its way into this match, having an incredible fight at Rayquaza. It did do a lot of damage. It had a beautiful knock-up on that Hurricane right into its Unite move as we are heading in to our final draft. First ban from Luminosity is going to be the Ho-Oh. Over to Peru, it's the Charizard. Now Suicune banned out by LG. Final ban here for Peru. A lot can be decided in our draft. These drafts have actually looked pretty similar to each other, but we've seen some evolution as we've gone on. Peru getting better and better and better as this series has continued.
Gua nggak tahu ya apakah LG segila untuk melakukan metascoring.
Weird and unique picks. We see Ho-Oh ban, Suicune ban, both of those are out. Charizard and Latios.
Tapi sepertinya tidak terlihat Blaziken
they are very comfortable with where they're at, or at least they're pretending to be. What is Peru Unite going to do in this moment? We wait with bated breath.
Yeah, really the question here. How do they want to play it? And they do end up taking the Scyther, as well as we're cycling through, seeing what they want. They take their Crustle. Okay. Interesting pick right here. Man, this is something that they knew Luminosity was going to try to bring out in this game. However, with the Snorlax already chosen, I kind of doubt it. Maybe hiding a few picks for later in the draft.
Yeah, I believe so. Blissey, Mewtwo Y. Now we're just seeing just high octane picks. However, there is, I'm taking a quick inventory, and no, we wouldn't go that direction. So Tempo Zainus is really where this thing is given texture here, which way they go. Quickly grabbed is the Zacian, and Zainus switching with Kea to give them the Hoopa, which honestly, like you said last game, difference me.
I love this draft so far for Peru. It feels like the strongest that they have had. I think the Crustle is a great pick. I think their Hoopa play was pretty fantastic. Deciding to take the Leafeon here for Luminosity, that could be really interesting. Trainer's Leafeon is unbelievable. Overlord back on the Blaziken, which feels like a really strong choice for him. Final pick now, over to Peru.
Zainus hovering the Blastoise here. Buzzwole nowhere to be found, let it be known. Before it was hotly
Aku akan
contested.
memasang
Now it's
pilihan
on the
kepada
sideline. Blastoise rounds out
Luminosity.
this draft. And Luminosity going with just
Tapi kalau ini gue pasang Luminosity juga. Dari draftnya
Luminosity. They're just going best.
Aku kemarin bilang Luminosity sama
On the other
kucing.
side of Peru, lots of comfort, a lot of things we've seen success with.
Jadi ini kemungkinan ya. Kalau misalnya Luminosity menang,
is a unique look here for at least our semifinals. We're in
berarti
game 5.
fix yang Indonesia lawan dua-duanya masuk final. Kalau Luminosity menang.
Oh, satunya siapa? Zeta.
Zeta lah.
Iya, pada ngelawan aja terakhir semuanya.
Tapi Peru United juga lumayan aja terakhir.
Iya. Dari Amerika kan itu ya?
Berhasil kalau Peru.
Oh, laku. Jadi kalau Aroy lebih milih Taeyuan apa Eryuan?
Gua lebih milih kemenangan untuk Pokemon Unite. Anjay, Pokemon Unite banget, yes.
Kalau Taeyuan kan Luminosity, kalau Eryuan Zeta. Lu milih siapa, Aroy?
Waduh. Siapa?
Taeyuan supporternya Luminosity, Eryuan supporternya Zeta.
Oh, gue baru ngerti.
Jadi lu milih siapa? Coba.
Ya nggak salah tuh.
Jadi lu milih siapa? Tuh.
Nggak, gue tetap Zeta nih.
Oh, berarti lu lebih memilih Eryuan. Gara-gara lu dipermainkan Taeyuan, lu milih Eryuan. Aroy suka mengadu kambing. Nggak boleh gitu, Roy.
Kagak gitu.
Kamu mau permainkan cewek-cewek gitu. Ya iyalah, buset, gua suruh lu kesini bukan berarti gua cuma ngomong sama lu, anjir. Ini kan menentukan Luminosity. Masa iya kita ngomongin pacar lu Eryuan dan Taeyuan di sini, buset.
Very difficult spot here in the early stage. We can see Trainer hiding in the tall grass, but they're going to be found by the Hoopa right now. A lot of information.
Oh, pertandingan ke-5, guys.
As well as they pick up the KO on Combustion.
Lu.
Sets up 2 more to get knocked down. Draken looking good on that.
Double kill untuk
Here we go. Continuing this push right
Gila,
Trainer
iya, kemarin Skyter sama itu Sarendung.
I like that bait out of Curious playing a little bit what looks like too far forward and immediately.
Hari ini nggak ada Sarendung ya. Kemarin juga Satsin tapi turun rata-rata Satsiannya.
Exactly what they're looking for here.
Flash here in this bottom path, just putting some pressure towards their opponents. 8 seconds
Di sini nggak ada itu, Roy. Nggak ada Meo, Roy. Nggak ada. Oh, tapi DC ada, Roy. Anjay. DC nggak sih?
Dia setelah sekian lama pakai ini, akhirnya dia pakai Blissey.
Kasih paham, Roy. Gimana cara main Blissey, Roy. Coba. Oh. Emang cowok sekarang main Blissey, Roy, emang. Oh gitu. Berarti laki-laki Banti main mid lane dong berarti ya. Ini mumpung di live nanti tiba-tiba ada IR, gue gak tahu sih itu.
Yeah, Curious right there. They would have overstepped Draken, ready to set the trap, screening off from the Luminosity's going to take the ones up top.
And we can see Otter here with the egg bomb. We saw how potent that was earlier in the match against Downs. Obviously, this is a soft-boiled egg bomb. Blissey able to provide a lot of healing to the squad, as well as some huge, secures, and disruptive moments.
Yeah, and Blissey kind of a strong pick in Hoopa, right? We've seen egg bomb prevent portal resets over and over and over again, and that might be a critical component here in this game 5. Stepping up over here, from under the nose of
Berhasil men-secure saja. Dan di bawah pun juga dapat Peru. Ini sebenarnya agak berat untuk di Musume ya.
to trap Trainer again.
Ya Allah.
And now Overlord kind of gets sawed out with the spin pump coming out from
Nggak mati.
Blastoise. And it's 3 players down again. Luminosity is looking in dire straits right now.
Yeah, Luminosity having some trouble right here, but they do stop them from scoring. 34 points, 145 for Peru, as they're scoring on the tier 2
Gila, LG cuma dikasih 34 anjay.
Things going pretty well for them, but Luminosity does have some strong scaling Pokemon that are now online. It takes a while for that Blaziken to get good. Now it's level 9. It is well within range of being able to carry in some huge ways. However, on the other side, a level 11 Zacian and a level 9 Blastoise. Blastoise finally here.
I mean,
Ya, nggak mati.
is going to be a problem, right? A good Hydro Typhoon is going to spell disaster for Luminosity. They need to play this very smart.
Mereka bahkan nggak ada attacker. Gila.
But I think the better end boss is Blastoise.
Yeah, level-wise, things are good for Peru. They've got the pressure on their opponents right here. Luminosity absolutely
Gila, andai Blazikennya Arroy kayak begitu ya, kayak Overlord. Kalau Blazikennya Arroy kayak Overlord, perasaan kamu gimana, Roy? Setiap mabar pasti ada yang masuk ya. Aku bang gitu ya.
But Peru is here to fight. Peru is here to prove something.
Oh iya. Terus gak tiba-tiba ditinggalin ya Roy ya di lobby ya Roy ya. Enggak.
We got 2 Jets spawn, right? Top and bottom path right here at about the same time. Nice thing for Peru with Hoopa
Emang
and
Blaziken kelas 17-an gitu Roy.
Using this portal to bring the team down to the bottom path right here. Actually,
Oh, dia trading GG.
The big time hot swap. Player goes down, the rest of the team goes up. Registeel is going to be down, and you have the rings of power to protect the goal zone. What is LG going to do? Are they going to collapse and let Heroes defend the top by themselves?
Oke, Hoopa Unite mau coba defend, tapi kayaknya dia defend. Oh, nggak bersama teman-temannya dan
Curios A pressing down the other way and dealing
GG.
damage but not finding a knockout.
GG.
Ayo.
Iya kali ya.
Bottom path, but they're way up right now, and they knew that at any moment they could bring the team down using Hoopa. So Luminosity was not able to push this. However, now that Hoopa Unite is gone, it looks like they are mobilized.
Pantes gua panggil-panggil gak nyaut-nyaut. Udah gua bilang sama Vincent, nih orang kayaknya tidur nih kayak lu modelannya. Itu kalau orang-orang ditinggal ayang gitu tuh. Ditinggal apa ditinggal? Ini meninggalkan ya? Bukan dia meninggalkan.
Tapi kayaknya ini kita lihat 230.
Anjir, ini hitung-hitungannya berat sih. 100 bawah, 100 atas ya Tuhan. Ini LC udah mulai kena mental kah? Udah mulai garuk-garuk, udah mulai emosi tuh kalau udah garuk-garuk tuh.
Game 5 ketinggalan itu sangat berat.
Habis itu aneh ya. Ini attackernya aja bahkan level 11 ya Tuhan. Kelas ini kan attacker yang perlu main gebukan ya, kalau level 11 gebuk siapa tuh?
Artinya cuma unitnya yang dibutuhin.
Ini si Brasil, makonya bagus anjir. Astaga, ini makan apa ya di Brasil ya? Makan babi kayaknya harus. Oh, tapi dia udah make. No. Dia udah make. Jadi menang apa enggak ini? Ceritanya, ceritain dulu dong. Anjir, dia 50 jebolin. Wow, GG. Tapi nggak ada unit, terus gimana dong cara menangnya ini? Dan kita lihat Roy, alroyyuan dok. Dia mulai
gerakan saya udah setengah. Siapa yang nggak mendapatkannya? Ternyata
sebelah kanan dong.
LC harus pulang.
Astaga.
United looking to wear the crown for the first time.
Iya.
They march on down to Sunday's competition.
Peru finally able to vanquish Luminosity here where it matters most. Worlds in the semifinals. Game number 5 of this best of 5.
Iya.
Never out of this thing, continuing to push forward throughout this competition. And Luminosity, the dream of the perfect season, is gone. They were not able to stop the team that they have stopped multiple times throughout this season. With 1 minute left, they are trying to push the
Ternyata timnya alroyyuan dong yang menang. Astaga. Astaga, Aroy. Kakaknya.
Tragis tapi sudah terjadi, mau gimana?
Astaga, yang juara orang Jepang lagi.
Ini dia. Apa foto bareng dia teman-teman?
Ya Tuhan, dia foto bareng dong, toksik sekali.
Dia nunggu orang, cowok. Dia nunggu.
Toksik sekali. No, toksik sekali. Dia foto dong di tengah. Ya Tuhan.
Ini dia. Foto bareng. Iya.
Ya Allah, gila tuh. Gigi sekali.
Pokemon Unite! Latin versus Japan! Nice try to win.
Finally figured it out. They stayed true to themselves. They played straight up, heads up Pokemon Unite, small adjustments to find their way to win in their own style, tip the cap to one of the best.
Astaga, timnya alroyyuan yang menang cuk, alroyyuan.
Kita lihat Zeta Division lawan
taking down Luminosity, the favorite to win this entire competition.
Berarti juara tiganya LG ya?
One of their hardest
LG
adversaries throughout the
enggak, LG harus lawan ini. LG harus lawan siapa? Santos Laguna.
A lot of people would have expected LG to be in
Nggak tahu
this
itu di Championship Sunday atau
Peru finally able to take on Grands and
Gila
going
sih,
up
Peru United.
against the incredible Zeta division.
This is Peru ya.
We here see clips of
Iya.
game 5.
Ini kalau LG udah hehok, gua sih pegang Zeta sih dia. Zeta lagi kah yang akan bawa pialanya? Ayo.
The guts it took to move towards Rayquaza so aggressively right here. Beautiful Hydro Typhoon. The Mewtwo Unite not able to stun the enemy team long enough.
Yang kalah langsung yang kalah pergi ke Disneyland dulu. Ternyata itu dekat Disneyland ya itu ya. Selebrasinya di Disneyland.
What a victory.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall, and Luminosity has just been felt. Anemo, MVP. Scyther again, MVP. 4 times?
Udah, kata gua beli box-box aja, jual.
4 times has Scissor been shown on screen. You have to give it credit. I have to be a believer now. It keeps showing up and it's
gila ya orang Brasil segigi itu, guys. Ya Tuhan. Coba Aro jadi blisinya, bro. Apa bro? Langsung Aro memanggil alroyyuan. Ini alroyyuan. Ya, Ray. Ray. alroyyuan. Jadi udah dipastikan kamu milih alroyyuan berarti ya? Aku caprin nih orangnya nih. Sekarang Zeta lawan Zeta lawan Peru. Masih 5149 sini.
Of their representing areas on their backs and really going to try and show out for the first time ever tomorrow Championship Sunday. We will be there in an arena.
Gila ya Peru hari ini underdog sekali.
For the World Championship.
You are not going to want to miss it. These are the best.
Wah, kasihan Overlord ke juara satu lagi. OTW kena mental kah ini Overlord?
we need to
Kata
talk
gua
to
sih
Peru.
Overlord
Let's
mending
send it
main ini deh apa? Main Scarlet Violet deh kata gua.
Well, get in Pokemon trainers because we're headed to grand finals.
Tuhan, Overlord.
Beep beep, there's no horn. Right, Peru.
Apa jangan-jangan Peru ini sering berdoa ya? Sebelum main berdoa, ya Tuhan, kabulkanlah doa kami gitu ya.
For Championship Sunday.
Llegaron al quinto juego, ¿cómo se sienten?
Lewatkanlah
¿Se sienten
kami dari
preparados?
Luminosity Gaming.
Creo que hemos demostrado en base a
Meski
consistencia,
Arroy nggak pernah
con mucho
berdoa.
esfuerzo,
Iya.
que estamos muy preparados.
I think we have shown our consistency and we have shown that we are
Lu
very
pernah nggak Roy
well
doa?
prepared.
Jadi aku harus memilih yang mana Tuhan? Reyuan apa Eryuan gitu? Pernah nggak? Jangan bohong. Kemarin ngomong di chat, gitu. Bilang di live aja beda lagi. Mesti gitu. Dan di chat, iya King aku berdoa, tapi aku galau. Lebih baik mana ya? Eryuan apa Reyuan? Semua kenapa harus markanya Yuan semua ya Roy ya?
Yo creo que si estaríamos teniendo un jugador de 7
Eso es
división
magia.
sería Tomato, porque la verdad desde que jugamos contra ellos en la gran final en lados Q siempre ha resaltado de ser un defender muy bueno.
Emang iya. Sejak kapan gua nama-namain orang? Kurang kerjaan banget.
Okay, and going into grand finals, it's Championship Sunday on the arena as well. So everybody watching, make sure that you head there
Iya,
to
Luminosity nggak bilang sih.
for grand finals of 2025. Championships in Anaheim, California. And I'm gonna ask a prediction, Anemo. How is it going to be on the best of 5? Are you guaranteed
Sebelum Mikalet siapa?
Y bueno, Anemo, ¿vas a ganar 3-0?
Oh iya Mikaret.
Oremos.
Yes, we will.
Gracias, thank you so
Enak,
much.
Pak.
Congratulations to Peru and Zeta Division for making the
Lenny,
grand finals on the Pokemon Unite World
Lenny
Championships.
goblok.
Thank you so much. Back to our casters.
Astaga.
What an incredible victory from Peru.
Astaga, paling parah Lenny sih.
For it all season. They've been fighting for this for years. I remember them winning AOS Cup and the story around them being, can any team stop them? They kept coming up just short. Now, here they are, one step away from being a world champion.
Is my memory this bad? Is
Ini jam berapa sih ini lawan setanya?
at EUIC AOS Cup to win?
I think yes.
Besok
That's exactly
ya
right.
udah
Tomato
kerja
said, right?
anjir.
Yeah.
Don't check that, but it seems like we've got a storyline building here going into tomorrow. Why don't we talk about where we've been so we can talk about where we're going?
What a day. We had Peru Unite make their way through this bracket, taking down
Nggak, ceritanya sekarang masih lanjut
taking
gak?
down Aegis Flames out of Brazil that had an insane run, and then running into Luminosity in this best of 5 to head towards
Gila
our
ya,
grand finals.
Sveta ngebantai si Santos
Other
lagi.
side of the corn, we had Zeta Division take down I-5 to start our day, taking down Team EO
Aegis
and then
ngalahin.
Santos Laguna, not dropping a single game, heading towards our grand
Wow.
finals. We also saw
High
insane
High
competition
Five,
from
High Five kalah sama Zeta Division. TKK apa nih Cake Kalok menang lawan PRX.
In my opinion, the legendary matches of Unite, but this best of 5
Hmm.
has to be
Padahal,
up there with Peru.
padahal waktu itu PRX ngelawan si Luminosity menang kan itu yang pas ke tahun kemarin. Iya sih? Iya menang, makanya si LG-nya kan kena mental. Si Overlord langsung buat status gak jelas.
2-0, 2-0, 3-0,
Kayak
and you want to talk about if history repeats itself, is this
PRX,
going
Roy.
to be our 4th consecutive world championship
Yang di
grand finals that
yang di
ends
Hawaii
in
PRX
3-0
kalau nggak
from
salah.
best of 5? I sure as heck hope not, because I want to see miles and miles of these two teams.
Yeah, and make sure you tune
Oh,
in to our
orang
Championship
Filipin ya.
Sunday tomorrow. We will be on the main Pokemon stream for Championship Sunday, so you won't find us under the Pokemon Unite stream. We will be there for
Nons
Championship
lawan
Sunday
Talon
to kick
dapat
off
free
the
1 game
competition.
anjir.
It is going to be amazing. The first time you will see Championship
Iya
Sunday
game 1 Talon ada problem device.
Jadi free point.
They're letting us open this show.
Oh yang emang terlalu
Nggak tahu, gue ngeliat itu doang notif di link Wikipedia katanya Nons dapat free 1 game.
It's going to be amazing. Peru, Zeta Division for the Pokemon Unite World Championship title, and all of it is of course in that arena. And they honestly did
Ngamuk, ngamuk mulu kerjaannya. Pergi atuh daripada ngamuk-ngamuk mending pergi Disneyland biar happy. Sama.
Amazing match ahead of us. That is tomorrow at Grand Finals for the Pokemon Unite World Championship.
Luminosity Gaming. Ternyata si Yugioh ini orang Cina, Roy. Wih, gila, orang Cina di mana-mana ya, Roy. Cina ini, Roy, Cina. Yugioh. Masa sih? Kok mukanya kayak Cina, Roy? Kayak orang Central Park ini, Roy. Kayak orang Kemayoran anjir ini. PGC nggak seru. Lu ntar main nggak, Roy? Itu Pokemon Legend Set A.
Kagak.
Ih, kenapa nggak ada yang mau main sih? Seru tau.
Kagak kompetitif. Gua main
Lah, Pokemon Legend Set A nggak perlu kompetitif anjir.
Ya,
lalu
karena tidak ada kompetitifnya kita nggak main.
Ya Allah, emang kompetitif